Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Paladins of Voltron, an unofficial podcast about the Netflix original series Voltron Legendary Defender. We're back. My name is Jason, and joining me, as always, is my good friend Jeremy. Jeremy, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Excellent. Doing good. I'd be even better if people took some time to give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram. We're at POV_podcasts, or you can always get us on Facebook at POV Podcast. Of course, you can always email us, feedback@povpodcast.com, or just leave a comment on any one of our posts of any one of our episodes or any one of our YouTube videos. We'll definitely see it there as well. And let us know what you think about the show. Episode 9, The Belly of the Weblum. It is written by Joshua Hamilton, and it is also directed by Christopher Palmer. Having awoken refreshed from his 10-minute nap that was 3 hours in length, Hunk finds that the combined brain trust of Team Voltron, the Blade Marmora, and the Okara have formulated a plan to take down Zarkon once and for all. According to theatrical and physics-bending presentation of the plan by Lance, a virus is to be planted on Zarkon's ship's computer by General Thace, while a large wormhole will be created to transport his ship far, far away. Once there, Voltron will form to destroy the ship, and Zarkon will be destroyed with it. In order for the plan to work, the team must split up to perform important tasks. Hunk and Keith will go to find a Weblum in order to extract enough Skulltrite for a teledove large enough to transport Zarkon's ship. Shiro, Lance, and Pidge will take the Red Lion to go and rescue the scientist who can help build the hide the teledove. Meanwhile, Karan will head up the Okara's building of the teledove, while Laura retrieves a crystal large enough to power the device from the Balmara. As the team says their goodbyes, Allura is very cold towards Keith as she does not trust his newfound Galra heritage. Back on Zarkon's ship, the Galra Emperor continues his search for the Black Lion despite calls for rest from Hagar and her tired druids. On the Yellow Lion, Hunk pokes fun at Keith regarding his newfound heritage while they watch an instructional video created by a much younger Karan regarding the task at hand, how to extract the Skulltrite from a Weblum. Unfortunately, the video is slightly corroded, so you don't get much information from it. They come upon some dead planets that should still be alive according to Hunk's readings, and Keith posits that they seem to have died an unnatural death. They finally come across the Weblum, and quickly learn one of the warnings lost in the video: avoid its face. They barely escape some powerful laser blasts emanating from the creature's mouth, and hide behind its eyes, and begin their journey into the creature. Back on Zarkon's ship, Thace learns that Hagar is assigned a druid to assist him in his investigation. And by assist, he means he must remain by his side the whole time. Back in space, Hunk and Keith have reached the Weblum's first stomach, and they begin their mission to retrieve the Skulltrite, but they get separated once the creature's stomach tries to dissolve them as food. Escaping into the second stomach, Keith comes across a ship trapped in the Galra's stomach wall, and upon freeing the pilot, he discovers that it is a Galra pirate piloting the ship. The pilot doesn't say a word and uses the ship as a bomb to dispatch a cluster of enzymes trying to digest them, and then uses his blaster to save Keith from more enzymes. They meet up with Hunk in the third stomach, and during yet another enzyme attack, they determine Hunk must return to his lion to provoke the creature to produce the Skulltrite. Exiting during one of the creature's bouts with flatulence, Hunk and his lion begin firing his laser. Begin trying to get the creature's attention. This takes some effort, but the creature finally cooperates and fires his lasers, producing Skulltrite. Keith is able to retrieve the Skulltrite, but the Galra pulls a weapon on him, taking a small amount of Skulltrite and leaving plenty for Keith and Hunk to return with. Accepting his role as possible Black Lion pilot in training, or waiting, Keith praises Hunk for all of his work on the mission before Hunk needles him yet again about his Galra heritage. So that was episode 9. Once again, and we actually talked about this earlier, this is another example that we saw earlier in the season where they're actually splitting up the teams. So it seemed like they were almost preparing us for it to happen again later in the season, which I thought worked really well. It isn't purely focused just on Hunk and Keith, but the majority of the episode is, and we do get a lot still with Allura not trusting Keith at all. And just her general coldness towards him and such. So what were your thoughts on the episode then?
I enjoyed it, and it actually didn't hit me until actually just getting ready for these shows tonight that they did split up, similar to how they did in the beginning of the season, just with different team members. But I like seeing Keith and Hunk interact with each other because it's not something we've really seen a lot of in the series, and I think they're taking advantage of that. They're taking advantage of like putting the different people together, and through all of Hunk's needling of Keith's Galra heritage, you can tell it's good natured, and Hunk really doesn't care.
Oh no, and at one point, Keith even says that he thinks Allura hates him, and Hunk says, "No, she doesn't hate you. I mean, you're only one of the people who killed her father. Yeah, okay, maybe she does hate you." So there's a little bit of poking fun back and forth, but it's Hunk. He's the big lovable hunk, I guess, and it's just him having a little fun. And actually, at one point, Keith cracks a joke. And Hunk is just taken aback, like, "Wait, you're making a joke now?" So, right. In effect, Keith is actually Hunk's actually helping Keith a little bit, with everything going on, the heaviness of his realizing what's going on with the Blade of Mamora and his heritage and everything with Zarkon. Like, Hunk is able to help Keith kind of come out of his shell a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's also kind of a nice homage to the original series, because I feel like Hunk was kind of that role in the original team where basically he got along with everybody.
Sure.
Except maybe Allura's Nana. But among the team, he got along with everybody. So, I mean, I like the better development that we get in this series. And the time that they actually spend with the characters to build up that development, it really, pays off well. Yeah,
I'd say as far as character development, this definitely blows away the first series. Netflix actually just recently released selected episodes of the first series where they're taking people who are helping develop Legendary Defender and showing their favorite episodes of the original series. And I watched the first one there, which was when Lotor tries to kidnap Allura, and I had forgotten Pitch's voice. That is rough.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful we have a better Pitch.
Yeah.
Now this time around. So now the Galra pilot. Is it just me, or was it drawn to kind of resemble a female? Did you get that at all, or were you just thinking?
I can see that. I couldn't really tell either way, but I mean, was it more of a slender figure?
Yeah, it was definitely slender. And I don't know. I kind of had a thought. I was watching the episode again. I was thinking, so doesn't talk to Keith, saves Keith. I mean, could this be a relative somehow?
Yeah.
Now, the chances of that are probably kind of astronomical. But if it's someone who knows that Keith is a part of Voltron and wants to help him, but doesn't feel like they can reveal themselves yet. I mean, imagine if this is like Keith's mother or something.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I mean, they made a purpose to let the character get away. So you wouldn't do that as a writer unless you're planning to, keep that piece on the board in some way in the future.
So that'll totally get paid off at some point.
Yeah. So, I mean, I could see them playing it off as a relative or someone that knew Keith had Galra blood in him.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's something that it's not a big enough plot point that when the season ends, I mean, not to spoil anything, but it's not really, we don't see this character again. It's not anything that when the season ends, you go, well, they didn't explain who the Galra was. Like, it's not so big and important a piece that you think the season's incomplete because of that. But it's just enough where you look at that and you go, well, I can't wait to see. Because there's no way we don't see this person again.
Right. It's seeding a future mystery that doesn't have anything to do with the current crisis that they're facing.
Right.
So yeah. I think that's just smart writing that, I mean, you see that all the time in other series, like Star Wars Rebels lately. This last season had been doing that, laying in a few things here and there throughout the season, and then in the finale, you see all those pieces come together. And I think they're doing similar things here. So I mean, as we go on, obviously the Skulltrite from the Weblum, they need that to for a new Teledove. And, all these things, like the people that they've met in the previous episodes, it's all going to have a payoff. And I like how they're taking it slow, but then it's just going to kick into another gear towards the end.
Yeah, I don't think it's giving away too much to say that the season kind of kicks into gear there towards the end, as did last season. I don't think there's ever a point where I feel the seasons have been slow at any point, but there's definitely the pace of the beginning, the middle, and then the end. So yeah. We get a couple of good moments this episode. I think probably my favorite is when Keith is requesting a kiss from Allura for good luck before they all leave, and I believe it's Karan who takes the psychic mouse off of Allura's shoulder. Makes it kiss Keith or Lance.
Yeah.
And it's great because the mouse looks happy. He's not, or Lance not so much because he didn't get the kiss he wanted.
You said Lance. You said Keith earlier.
I'm sure I did because I had to correct myself 3 times after that, so I'm not surprised. Yeah, no, Keith definitely is not getting any kisses from Allura anytime soon. So, and of course, and again, I've said this before, I'm not a fan of like fart jokes and stuff. When Hunk starts laughing when he realizes the Weblum's farting because of all the gas in its stomachs. But it's a plot point because it's how he gets out to get into his lion.
And it also it goes along with the very first episode of the series.
Yep.
Where Lance made the fart joke.
This is true. By the time the 78 episodes or whatever it is over, everyone will have made a fart joke. It'll be amazing when Shiro makes it. Everyone will go, what?
Or Keith.
Or Keith. Keith's getting there.
He's silent but deadly.
Well played, sir. Well played. So, yeah, I mean, as far as plot development, the pieces are in the pieces are getting into place. Everyone has their job and they're going about it. But this is really just an episode that focuses primarily on Keith and Hunk, and it's a good episode. What did you think of? Okay, and actually, this is something I did want to bring up, so I'm glad I'm going here. So the Weblum is nothing more than, it looks like they just painted an asset and put it in. It looks beautiful what they did, but it's barely animated. Like you get the lasers from its mouth, you get a little bit of shine on its eyes when it sees something. Now, I think it looks good, but I'm wondering if it almost seems like towards the end of the season they had to save a little bit of money, so they went with something like this.
I think they're saving up for the last episodes. I mean, they know they're going to be doing a lot in the last few episodes, and they want those to look the best.
Okay, I think that probably makes a lot of sense. There is something that happens in the last episode that I'll talk about then that. Artistically, I really like it, so I'm not against it or anything, but I think maybe that was also a cost-saving thing too. Excuse me. But yeah, it's just, it looks great, but I think that they were trying to save a little bit of money here and there when they could.
Yeah, well, you see that a lot with these CGI series. Like going back to Star Wars Rebels, they did that with a couple episodes this season because the last season was just absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So CGI is expensive, and
sure.
you have to pick your battles, and so an episode like this has a lot of similar backgrounds, and it's probably easier for them to reuse assets and not have to develop a lot of new ones.
Yeah. And I just want to make sure everyone knows this isn't a knock. It's some of the best shows ever.
Right.
You got to cut costs. I mean, look at the first 2 seasons of Next Generation.
Yeah.
There's some...
we're not saying this is like Scooby-Doo where they run by the same door 4 or 5 times.
Exactly. Or, the last episode of season 2 of Next Generation where it's just a clip show. Because clip shows and sci-fi go together like this.
Yeah.
So, any other points or discussions you'd like to make about... the video. The video was great.
Yeah, I was about to say that. And they end up doing pretty much exactly what Coran says not to do.
Or at least what we thought he says what to do.
Yeah.
Because in my read-through, I said that, they discover not to avoid the face. They actually hear it like 2 seconds before they do it. So it's in the video. But unfortunately, it's not in the video to a point where they actually get the warning ahead of time. And of course, the Weblum that's actually on the video with him might be one of the funniest things ever. It's just great. It's like, hi, Coran.
Yeah.
So
I could just see if it was like a live action thing, it would be someone in a suit.
Uh-huh. Oh, God, yeah. Which would be also hilarious. So, yeah, it's just the little things. It's, shocked. I liked an episode. So, all right. Anything else other than that you can think of?
No, I think that was about it.
Okay. Well, in that case, once again, feel free to leave us any feedback. You can do it at the website. Again, we are at POV underscore. I can't say underscore very well. Podcast, and that's at Instagram and Twitter. POVpodcast.com for the website. Any of the posts, comment there. POV Podcast on Facebook. And that will pretty much do it. So join us next time when we talk about episode 10. And until then, everyone, have yourselves a good week.
Yep. Later.
Okay. Bye, everyone.